Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. The Federal High Court sitting in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, has dismissed a case challenging the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ahead of the 2023 polls. A statement released by the Director, Media and Publicity, APC Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Onanuga, confirmed the dismissal yesterday, adding that in the last couple of weeks, the courts had dismissed several cases brought against Tinubu by opposition elements, including Action Alliance, for being frivolous, lacking in merit, and abuse of court processes.
The latest is the fourth case to be dismissed by the courts in recent weeks. And this is an important conversation in the sense that, we all know that this is election period. I don't think that this is anything surprising. There are going to be cases, county cases, a lot of frivolous cases will be brought up in court. This is not an exception. The APC have said that he's a person to be contended with, which is why the attacks are coming. They have alleged that it's only their presidential candidate that is receiving all the attacks that's been thrown by.
Which is not true. I think even I can't remember. I think it was, the Labour Party also had a court case against it for using a child or so in its poster or something. I don't remember, something frivolous like that also. But no, it's not the only candidate who has been had attacks thrown against him. Even the PDP candidate has had his own fair share of drama and attacks. Court cases, there's every single day.
Tonya Cole,
we had,
for example,
exactly, not even Tonya Cole. We had, there's something that was said here that I think the Chief Judge or so, or the CJN was complaining about the plethora of court cases that the Nigerian courts see every day. It feels like, every human being that is bored just walks into a court to file a court case. But of course, these are things that you would see in the build-up to the elections. You would expect to see even more drama in the build-up to the
and even civil organizations as well. They would definitely take a lot of them to court. Now, this going to court and frivolity, quote unquote, of the cases that are being taken to court is the main reason why they will defend the immunization clause in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which shields the president and the governors, and certain officials from prosecution whilst in office.
Yes.
Because there's just this assumption, or there's just this, which is not an assumption, to be honest, whilst we kick against it and we do not like it because we feel that it gives them the power or the grace to, the right, the temerity to abuse office and abuse power. But the truth is, if you left it open, many people would have a bone to pick with the person in office. And what will then happen is we'll see a plethora of frivolous cases that will be hitting the courts.
And just for clarity, the court case was, against the APC's candidate and the PDP's candidate, Atiku Abubakar, for failing to follow due process before their primary elections, that got them nominated as their party's flag bearers. It eventually was dismissed. Of course, one of the things that we even spoke about this morning in the newspapers, it was called frivolous, basically.
Yeah, and this is not the only time that they've tried to establish that there was an irregularity in establishing the candidacy. Now, they've done that on the federal level, and there's also that on the state level. We had Tonya Cole, the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, who also had a case to answer in court. First, on the issue of dual citizenship, because it was said that he's a dual citizen of the UK and Nigeria, and as such cannot run for office. And also there was a second suit that sought to delist the All Progressives Congress from the 2023 elections, so their name doesn't appear at all on the ballot papers, like it didn't appear at the last elections, because they're saying that the process in which they were put into, they were elected, the process, was flawed, it was illegal, and they didn't follow due process. I
would also mention, that all of this for me is, from what I see, we still have a very long way to go with regards to our leadership recruitment process as a country. Since 1999, there have been, of course, the return to democracy. There have been elections. We've had multiple elections. People have lost, people have won. INEC has also had different chairmen in that period between 1999 and 2022. We've had enough time, and of course, even in the judiciary, because all of this come, together to pick the leaders that take over the country. We've had enough time to continue to fine-tune the process, and I feel like we will make mistakes as a people. We will try and we will fail. We will do what we can. We will grumble. Changes will be made with the Electoral Act. Changes will be made with the Criminal Justice Act and whatnot. But it is all in the bid to fine-tune our leadership recruitment process so that at some point in Nigeria's history, we will be able to beat our chest and say we now have something seemingly close to not 100%, but at least a good percentage of free and fair elections. There's still so much that needs to be done with regards to the electoral process. There's still so much with regards to public education that needs to be done. There's still so much that needs to be taken out, not just put in, taken out completely of Nigeria's leadership recruitment process. The influence of money, the influence of poverty, the influence of miseducation, the influence of tribe and religion, so much that needs to be taken out. And hopefully we get to a place where the giant of Africa, the most populated nation in Africa, and of course one of the biggest black nations in the world, will be able to have different conversations when it comes to picking leaders.
Yes.
We stop talking about some of the most irrelevant things. It breaks my heart, and I'll always say that it breaks my heart hearing the type of conversations that 30-year-olds have with regards who their choice of leadership is. The things that they consider with, when it's time to pick a leader. These people would think different when it's time to pick someone to lead their companies or who will be managing directors of their companies. But when it's time for politics and for someone who would lead the country as president, as governor, you see these brains completely turn to sawdust. And it really, really breaks my heart. And I wish that we would get to a place where we as a people would be able to think better for the betterment of our country. It has nothing to do with our personal pockets or personal aggrandizement or personal pleasures. For our country, we need to do better as a people.
Right.